UFC London is this weekend, and I'm here to break down the fights, my predictions, and some betting tips on what I think is going to happen based on that exactly. Yeah. Uh, we're going to start with the early prelims, end with the main event, and then I guess we'll kind of do a small breakdown of how we've been doing on the channel. Anyways, let's start with the first fight of the night. We've got Guram Kutateladze versus Quay Fernandez. I am going to be picking Guram Kutateladze to win this fight by a decision. I do think Quay Fernandez is a decent finisher. He has a chance that he could obviously clip Kutateladze, but Kutateladze I think fights at a higher level than Quay. Just more willing to trust a guy like him to win a fight like this. His last fight being Jordan Vucinic, who is also on this card. The Elvis Brenner fight is the only one that makes me really, really worry about this pick. But I'm going to trust in the Guram pick. I think he'll win this fight. He's fought at a higher level for longer. Trains with better people as well. Moving on to the next fight, we've got Callan Loughran versus Nathan Fletcher. I'm going to be picking Nathan Fletcher to actually get a submission. Do I think he can do it? I don't know. This little blockhead may be tough to take down. We're going to go with decision. I don't think he'll be able to get the finish here. He might be able to. He is a good, decent submission artist. But Callan Loughran is just a little blockhead. He's like a 135 Vittori, kind of. Except with some finishing potential. Anyways, not too worried about this pick. I do think Callan Loughran has a small chance, but I would kind of pick Nathan Fletcher as just more of a, I don't know. I think should be more of a favorite than he is. Moving on. Oh God. Alrighty. Here we go. Moving on to Andre Pulayev versus Christian Leroy Duncan. I think for the weigh-ins, Bisping was calling him Christopher Leroy Duncan. I will be picking Christian Leroy Duncan. I think he's going to end up getting the finish here, and I'm actually going to pick it by round 1 knockout. Yeah, let's do round 1 knockout. I think Christian Leroy Duncan's is just on a different level than Andre Pulayev. I mean, this is a guy coming off a contender series, and I typically don't like when they go in against a veteran, whether they are losing fights or winning them in the UFC. Well, as long as they have won a few fights and are a veteran of the UFC, I typically want to lean the way of the UFC vet. They feels like they win it more often than lose it. Don't overthink this one. Christian Leroy Duncan, heavy favorite, but it is what it is on that. It's not one you really pick him. You try to find other ways of making money on him. Marcin Tybura versus Mick Parkin. Everyone's picking Mick Parkin, and I just feel like he's not athletic enough to beat Marcin Tybura, and I don't like that. I don't like not believing in Mick Parkin. He is undefeated. He's a decent fighter, but his wins just... You've got him beating Lucas Brzezinski as his only finish in the UFC. Mo Usman, Caio Machado, and Jamal Pogues were all decisions. His UFC or his contender series fight to get into the UFC, he did get a finish, but I just feel like Marcin Tybura is going to be a little too much, a little too soon. I know that Mick Parkin trains with Tom Aspinall. I actually really like that, but I don't know how much that's going to matter for this fight. I don't hope that I'm wrong in the sense of losing my pick, but I like Mick Parkin. I hope he wins. I don't know that he's good enough for this fight. As of right now, I just don't. I don't know. And Marcin Tybura typically beats these less athletic heavyweights with lesser finishing potential. He typically wins. So I'm going to be picking Tybura by decision. It's not one that I'm super confident in either, though, because it's picking Marcin Tybura. Moving on to the flyweight division, where we will go from a very low skill fight to a much higher level ceiling of skill fight. We've got Lonnie Kavanaugh versus Felipe dos Santos. Lonnie is small, but I think he has good finishing power. His striking is actually pretty good. Felipe dos Santos is a live underdog in this, though. But I just don't know that he's going to be able to get that done. I will be picking Kavanaugh by round 1 knockout. Or, no. Round 1. Round 2, we'll be picking TKO. KO by Kavanaugh. I think his striking level is going to be on a quite different level than Felipe dos Santos. Honestly, the first round pick might not be the worst of all picks, but him being a flyweight and getting a finish in general will just be good for kind of your bet. Yeah. I'm going to be picking Felipe dos Santos to lose the fight, Kavanaugh to win. TKO round 2. Moving on to Jai Herbert versus Chris Padilla. Dude, I want to pick Jai Herbert so bad, but I just feel like he's going to get clipped at some point during this fight. I feel like I'm going with a lot of round 2 knockouts. I feel like Jai Herbert's going to be looking good until he doesn't. It just kind of feels like what he does. His loss to Farasiam and very close, I guess, draw with Ludovic Klein. He was getting clipped in those fights. And, I just feel like Chris Padilla is one of those guys who finds your chin and finds the finish. I could see Chris Padilla ending up getting a submission, maybe clipping Jai Herbert and then jumping on either guillotine, Darce choke, just something, maybe rear naked choke. I would pick Padilla by finish if I'm doing this like on some sort of parlay. Jai Herbert by decision isn't the worst, but I think Padilla's gonna find the finish in this fight. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like he's gonna end up clipping Jai Herbert. I feel like he's gonna clip Jai Herbert and end up submitting him. Once he knocks him down, he's gonna find the bag, rear naked choke, round 2. Moving on to Morgan Charrier versus Nathaniel Wood. This is now 50-50. Damn, that's crazy. I thought it would be more in favor of Charrier. I'm going to be picking Morgan Charrier. I think he's not the more technical of the two fighters. I think that is by far Nathaniel Wood. I think Nathaniel Wood's going to look good. Maybe in the, I don't know. I think Nathaniel Wood's going to look good and then get clipped. Kind of story of this last Jai Herbert, this fight right here. I think it's going to kind of play out the same way. Nathaniel Wood's going to look good, more technical of the two fighters, and then the more athletic of the two, the more harder striking is going to land. Going to find this kill shot. I hate it because I would like Nathaniel Wood. I think this is going to be a good fight, though. I think Nathaniel Wood's going to do good the first 2 rounds, or first round and a half. and then end up getting finished. Moving on to the next fight. We're in the lightweight division again. We've got Chris Duncan versus Jordan Vucinic. I will be picking... Man. Chris Duncan is a live dog. Very live dog. But I'll be picking Vucinic to win. I think he's going to end up getting a... Manuel Torres did it, you know. I don't know why we're going with round 3. We're going to be going with a round 2 submission. I think Chris Duncan's a good fighter, but, you know, if Manuel Torres can pull off a sub on you, I think Vucinic will be able to as well. Try not to overthink this one either. You know, better of the two fighters fought higher competition in Cage Warriors. He has been in the UFC for a little while now. Expect a good fight though. I think this will be Vucinic stepping up though. Like I think his last fight wasn't quite not who he is, because that is Vucinic, but I think he's going to take his next step up in the sport. He's going to look so much better in this fight. I can't word it right now. Moving on to this. It's because I saw this. That's why my brain just got fried. There you go. There's that. I guess I can mix it up for you here. Maybe it'll be quick. We can pray to the gods. The MMA gods will bless us with that one, hopefully. Moving on to Kevin Holland versus Gunnar Nelson. We're back at welterweight, where everybody says that Kevin Holland is so much better than he is at middleweight, and I think that's just completely false. He's fought higher level competition at middleweight and did better. He's faster at middleweight. He looks better. He just gets overwhelmed, and he's a quitter. He doesn't try. That's his thing. He doesn't want to try because he doesn't want to know that he can't actually become a champion if he would just commit himself. Or he doesn't want to fear losing of it. Because Kevin Holland is talented enough to do something. He's talented enough to be a great fighter. But his brain and himself, he just won't let himself actually go try. That being said, I guess I'm picking him. This is the last time I pick him if he loses, though. Because, that might be the last time he's in the UFC. I'm going to be picking Kevin Holland. I think he'll look decent in this fight. I could see him clipping Gunnar Nelson, but, like, at the same time, when does he really clip people? I kind of think that he's going to win the decision. But Gunnar Nelson's been out so long, he is getting older. Holland typically clips the older guys. Let's go with round 2. End of round 2, I think. Maybe he faces a little bit of adversity early. Maybe he gets taken down and actually survives. And then clips Gunnar Nelson later in the second round after he's found his timing. Because Kevin Holland's typically not too sharp early either. Moving on. It'll be the last time I pick him if he loses, though. Even if he does remain in the UFC, never picking him again. Moving on to Jan Blachowicz versus Carlos Ulberg. This is our co-main event. Blachowicz coming off a 2-year layoff, I think, or close to it. Almost 2-year layoff. Where he arguably beat Pereira. Some people think he did. Some people think he didn't. I can't even remember at this point. It was a fairly uneventful fight, so I didn't care all that much outside of somebody being in title contention. I've got Blachowicz. I think he's going to KO him. He's slow, but he's fought at a higher level for longer. Olberg's already older. He's not an old man, but he is almost 30. He's on his way to 35. I know that Blachowicz is old, but he has to get this done. I am worried about how many surgeries he's had. I'm worried about all the time off. But I also kind of feel like he wouldn't be coming back if he didn't feel like he could do it. And that gives me confidence in Blachowicz. This is the same dude that lost to Glover Teixeira, though, while Glover was an old man, so. I've got Blachowicz being able to outstrike Olberg. I think it'll be fairly competitive early, and then Blachowicz will kind of take over with the kicks and then get a KO. I don't know if it's going to be end of round 1 or beginning of round 2. We'll go with beginning of round 2. A lot of round 2 KOs, I feel like, in this predictions. But yeah, this is I think Olberg will not get it done. I think he'll get finished. I don't know. I trust Blachowicz. He's shorter with the longer reach too. You know, that actually means something typically. Anyways, moving on. We're going to the main event of the evening. We've got Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady. I kind of already put my picks in somewhere else before I realized the staph infection. So I'm going to remain with that. But I just think this is going to be either a very uneventful fight or Sean Brady kind of just fears getting hit kind of the way he did versus Bilal. And then Leon can just kind of beat him up like a punching bag. But that or Sean Brady will take him down over and over and over. Or submit him. That could happen. I think Sean Brady's submission threat is actually real versus Leon Edwards. I don't like that Leon has staph infection coming into this fight. But he is the more technical of the two fighters. His striking's better. His grappling is on a very good level. He did take good positions against every grappler he's fought against. I just think he's the better, higher level fighter. It's one of those, hopefully the staph infection will not affect him for your picks. But Sean Brady is a good fighter. Looked very small, but thick versus Leon during the stare down. But Leon should be able to keep him at range. Should be able to use his frames and stuff. He's very good at framing. He's not a great boxer, but he should be able to use his length and his teeps. Good jab on him. I've got him winning a boring decision. But, yeah. That'll wrap up the UFC London fight picks. We can now move into how we did last week, which was terrible. We did horrible. We went 5 for 13. And every fight we flipped picks on, we got wrong. We flipped picks here. We flipped picks here. I don't remember flipping picks here. The Vallejos fight was kind of obvious. Felt obvious, at least. I will never pick Ryan Spann to win a fight again. It's one of those kind of moments. This was the dumbest thing I had seen in so long, but it is what it is. We got every women's fight wrong too. The old coin did not produce very well last week. But anyways, that dropped our percentage to like 62% since making the channel. But it is what it is. Anyways, like and subscribe, I guess. I do fight picks on Friday because tough fights fall out, but I might be changing that to Wednesdays now. Yeah. Bye.